A guy paddled 850 miles and survived only on fish?
38 days, no roads, no help, just wilderness.
Most people wouldn't last a week.
So what would you say that would say about us if you were saying things about us?
I'd say this episode's brought to you by Backbone Coffee,
First Form,
the Great Lakes Fishing Expo,
and Heritage Roofing.
Watch or listen.
Casting their faith to reach this world.
Fish on!
Welcome back to the Casting Faith podcast.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome, Chase, from Southwest Indiana Outdoors. Man, it's so exciting to have you on today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Been following you guys since the beginning. So
100%. I was telling Dave.
maybe a little starstruck.
Oh, that's hilarious. We're just a couple of idiots, so that's what this is. No, it's actually really cool, man. You've been around, probably since before. You were audio only, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been around before me.
Yeah, which is crazy. Real quick, though, just a quick question. How'd you find us? Just curious.
Instagram.
Nice.
You guys followed me on Instagram, and at the point I had really just started kind of branching out and listening to some other podcasts, and I was like, oh, hey, got to give these guys a listen. And yeah, I loved it.
Well, man, I appreciate, I don't know, like 68 episodes of support, or however many we're at right now.
Yeah, something like that.
70 something, 6 or 7. That's dead, dude. People are
6, 7.
Yeah, there it is. You got kids,
Oh, it-
so you
Yeah. I'd make my kids mad at it. They call me cringe because
Yeah.
I will do it as soon as I hear it, which
Yep.
keeps them from doing it.
Yes, that's psychology right there. 100%. Or reverse psychology? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. Say it.
What?
What you thinking?
What if
Can you read?
What if you reverse psychology? No, I said as my Sunday school class today. I had them read Mark. We were talking about the men who lowered their friend through the roof to Jesus, all that. And I said, I broke up. We were doing Mark 2, 1 through 12. And I said, can somebody read verses 6 and 7? And then immediately did this. And they all went,
Yeah, I did it. We did a hockey game. And I think I talked about this last week, but we did a hockey game and the final score was 6-7. And I said it, and even the parents in the crowd were like, "Yeah!" And I'm
so
"You're the adults. What do you
here's my psychology behind it. I feel like the more we talk about it and the more goofy we are about it, it just kind of kills it.
It's gonna
And
die.
it just ends
It
it.
does.
I'm good with that.
I don't know what that says about our platform and our channel.
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Oh man, but we're so excited that you're on, man. I knew, as soon as I got to know you, just through texting and just our interactions together. I didn't even know that you were like-minded in faith until way after I got to know you, which was really cool. But I always knew that eventually you would come on the show for sure. Did you feel that way?
Oh yeah. It was definitely one of those that I was like, yeah, I've definitely got to hit these guys up on joining them for an episode sometime, because again, I just loved the show. You guys were always kind of goofy, which is fun. It's fun to take the seriousness of what you talk about, but then also go into the funny side of things. To me, that's what really, really sells itself on this show.
Yeah, that's kind of our goal. We've, careful how I say this. There's a million podcasts out there that are faith-based, right? And most of them, it's just Sunday morning service repackaged, or it's a deep theological, podcast, which is not bad. Like, those are great. I listen to them. I love them. I engage with them. I do all of that. I consume that. But I noticed there was really nothing out there that was lighthearted and fun that you could just throw on and laugh at. And I'm not the funniest guy, but I just saw a lane there where it's like, man, no one's doing everyday life stuff. This guy. And that's kind of what the vision was for it. And we just happened to be interested in fishing, and we just happened to be interested in aliens and Bigfoot, and we allegedly, all these things that we're interested in. And
We're interested in getting to the moon for the first time.
see, come on.
Yeah.
Ivan.
No, Chase, as soon as I saw that beard, my brother, I knew that
Yeah.
we were in good company.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Mhm.
you haven't had anyone so beautiful on this one.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Facts. We had a solid mustache on last week.
That we did.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
great.
those Smalley Talk guys. They're all about the mustache.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's hilarious. Well, man, thank you for coming on today. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on. We're glad to have you on our show, but you got a channel popping off on YouTube right now, right?
yeah. So I run Southwest Indiana Outdoors on literally the main platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. But YouTube has been my focus from the beginning. I just really started doing it for the fun of doing it. Thought it would be kind of cool to record my kayak fishing trips. That's what I do, kayak fish, and thought it would be cool to throw them on YouTube and just see what happened. And little did I know that it was going to continue to grow like it has. You know, I started out, had like a couple subscribers, with one of them was my dad, and it wasn't long that I was like at that first 100, and I was like, whoa, I've got 100 people that have subscribed to me, which just seemed absolutely crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I was gonna make a joke, like I wish my dad would listen, but he's listening. It's a joke.
And now you made your dad feel weird.
Yeah, now it's awkward. Love you, John. It's all right. No, he's a big supporter. It's great. It's all good. But no, I can relate with that, man. And there was this one point. It was you and Travis. You guys were having a competition on YouTube. Who can hit the first 2,000 subs? I think that's what
Yeah.
it was. And I
Yeah.
was like, it was like a poll or something, and I was engaging with it, and I was like, yeah, you both are gonna hit it, like trying to be encouraging. You're like, that's not the point. Who's gonna win? And little
Yeah.
did I know, like that year, those next 3 months, our channel would pop off to 3,000 randomly. Like it just happened, and it's incredible, like how quick it can happen, and then how there is such a long grind in between those peaking moments, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today, because that's kind of like everyday life. It's not limited to just content creation, but just life in general. You go through ups and downs, you go through highs and lows, and then there's long seasons of just boring day-to-day stuff.
Before we get too heavy, let me ask you guys something. Do your kids think that it's cool that you're on YouTube? Because that's like my son's like highlight to tell his friend, my dad's on YouTube. Yeah, one of the neighbors was over at our house, and I was listening to our episode with Destin and Marion, and out in the garage just doing some stuff. And he goes, "That's my dad's podcast. He's on YouTube." And his friend's like, "Oh my goodness, your dad's on YouTube?"
Mr. Beast. He's Mr. Beast. Pretty much.
And
Mr.
he
Beast.
thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. So I didn't know if you guys as kids have thought the same.
Yeah, my kids do like it. Of course, I constantly get, "Have you got your first play button yet?" I'm like, guys, I am so far from hitting that first play button. 100,000 subscribers.
It's tough.
I'm like, one day it's gonna happen.
Hey, YouTube, what about a bronze or,
What about third place?
something.
Yeah, my kids definitely like it. I will say, the best criticism you can get is get your kids' friends to follow you on YouTube.
Oh, man.
They will be brutally honest.
100%.
So had one that was like critiquing my videos. He's like, "You need to talk more. You need to do this more. You need." I was like, "Okay, well,
Good feedback.
I'm getting some real time feedback from this kid."
Yeah, Sean's boy is relentless to me, because I'm a teacher to him, and he'll tear me up. I'm like, "Hey, man, but what about these 3,000 subscribers, huh? Or what about this 100,000 views this month, huh?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, but this is lame and that's lame." And I'm like, "All right, okay, okay."
Hey, I got a bone to pick with something you just said though about the bronze. Listen, I don't want to be Canada.
No, I want gold.
We're Americans.
Yeah, 5 years. You heard it here. You heard it here first. It is March 22nd, 2026. In 5 years, we'll have a silver play button.
I'd also like to point out
Right.
on the Canada thing.
Yeah.
we just beat them in baseball too. So not only do we beat them at their sports, we also beat them in our
Our
sports.
shot at gaining any followers from Canada is just gone.
Guys, we're screaming freedom.
Yeah, there it is. First forward / casting base. Get to sub. No, I did notice though that Canada, we beat them in the
Sled hockey too.
Paralympics.
Mhm.
Like, so even yeah, there's something to be said there. We beat them in every form of hockey. So how about that? I don't know. Hey, it's all right. Anyways, my kids beg me not to talk about them on the podcast. I'm like, it's gonna happen.
My kids love it, man.
That's an interesting
Yeah.
thought. They're excited that I do it, and then occasionally my oldest is like, "Can we do a baking channel?" So there's already that thing in their mind of,
Yeah.
"Hey, this is a legitimate opportunity." But when you were younger, and when I was younger, it was always a, "Hey, that's a waste of time. Don't ever do that. It's not going to amount to anything." Was that true?
Yeah.
Do you remember hearing that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I could remember, so I was more of a hunter when I was a kid, and you would see the guys that made the hunting movie. Yeah, Hunterman. I almost threw that out there just for you. So I was like, you see the guys making the hunting videos, and it's like, man, to be a professional hunter would be amazing. But there's just no real money. There's no way you're going to actually be able to do that. And then as YouTube started getting bigger, it's like, well, there's no way that I actually have a shot at doing that. So, yeah, it's definitely one of those that you don't expect. I mean, in reality, sometime we'll definitely have to do an episode with wives, and I'll have Kayla on here. But she was like, she thought I was crazy for number one, for kayak fishing, and number two, for starting a YouTube channel. And now she is in on it with me.
So that's incredible, and that's funny because both of our wives hasn't fished with us since like, I don't know, 9-10 years.
Brittany won't even come out on the kayak.
But one thing I do want to ask is, when did you start that? When did you start? Did you start kayaking and filming at the same time, or did you start posting after you got the kayaks? Got the kayak?
So picked up the kayak. I started kayaking in 2020. Picked up my first kayak 2021.
Same.
And bought a fishing kayak because I had seen it on YouTube. Thought it looked like it would be a lot of fun to go kayak fishing. And at the time, I honestly didn't even think about YouTube like for myself. I just thought, hey, I'm going to go out and have fun catching fish in a kayak, and really right away fell in love with it. Like, it was just so much more fun than bank fishing or even boat fishing from the beginning. And
That's right.
so started kayak fishing a lot. Yeah, have to throw it. It's better than boat fishing, Sean, if you're listening.
I think he still listens at least.
Be better. So then I started talking to Kayla, and I was like, I think I want to get a GoPro and just start recording my trips, and I'll upload them to YouTube. So she ended up getting me a GoPro. That would have probably been 4 years ago now. On Father's Day, it'll be 4 years. I think that's what it was. And man, I recorded probably 20 trips and was like, I don't like my voice. I don't like anything I'm doing, and I just deleted all the footage. And I would record, and then I would delete the footage.
You're regretting that now, I bet.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So then I finally, one day, I was like, okay, I'm going to make a video. No matter what comes out of this, I'm going to make a video, and put a couple videos together. I think my first like 4 to 5 videos on YouTube were like 1.5 to 3 minutes long. Like tiny short videos, and but I posted them. And once I broke the barrier of actually posting, then I was like, okay, this isn't really that bad. And slowly started posting more and more until now I've got 220 full-length videos, probably 50 live streams, and several hundred short videos.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And it's, I think the win on YouTube and in fishing really is you just got to keep doing it. You just got to be consistent. We've all been fishing and not caught anything, and then we talked about it a couple months ago. Our steelhead season was terrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. But
I was talking to somebody about that today.
But
That's
that
just miserable.
that one trip that we went on where we almost drowned and we had to hold hands to walk out of the water.
Yeah.
We're secure in our manhood. And no,
That's why we matched tonight.
we fished like 8 hours and there was nothing. And I was getting frustrated and he was getting frustrated. And then like in the last, I don't know, 40 minutes, I landed 2 close to PB fish right in a row. And it's just about perseverance and continuing, you know. So that's like, it's similar in fishing. If you're not going to catch anything by quitting an hour in, 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, you got to just keep going. And it's probably the same with, from all of what I'm doing and found with the Casting Feed podcast, is you just got to keep going and figure out what works for your channel and just continue to, you know, execute that consistently and eventually it'll work out.
No, I agree totally.
But one thing I do want to ask is you've got years in this and we're only in our like 15th month of doing this. How many times did you think about quitting?
So in reality, I did really good about not letting it discourage me that maybe I wasn't growing, you know, as quick as I was really hoping. Like I said earlier, at first I was kind of surprised when I started growing. And then it was like I hit a spot where it was like, okay, why am I not growing faster? You know, you hit that point and you're like, why am I not there yet?
Yeah.
Sorry, muted myself. I never got discouraged about not growing until really this past like November, December timeframe. We were just going through some stuff with our personal lives with family and stuff like that. And I kind of let that get in my head, along with I still hadn't seen that, you know, that 4,000 hour mark is the hardest thing to hit with YouTube. And I'm like, I keep getting closer, but not like, I feel like I'm never going to get there. And in December, I really considered like throwing in the towel. I was really thinking about throwing in the towel because it had been so long, again, going through some other things. And I was like, man, I'm just tired of this. And I did kind of struggle a little bit. I didn't post as much throughout probably most of January. I went to 1 upload a week on YouTube and was just kind of half-heartedly doing Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram and stuff like that. And then something kind of kicked in February and I started pushing things more. And in March, I hit monetization on YouTube. So, and I am monetized on Facebook as well, which is really cool.
Nice. Cool. We got an alert saying that we can get monetized on there, but I haven't really looked into it much. Man, I can totally relate with all of that, you know. But for me, like, monetization was never like the main reason behind doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I genuinely just believed that this is a missed thing and we need more of this. And if we can make it, we can show other people that they can make it. And, you know, the world needs more apostolic content, you know, whether it's, you know, whether it's fishing related or outdoors related, whether it's sourdough related, I don't care what it's about. You know, we need to show the world that you can be normal and be a believer and have truth. And so that was the biggest goal for me, you know, and, it's cool that I have like, and I'll share off camera some of the things that we're doing. I have built a system that is working consistently, and it's exciting because it shows that this can be done. And you know, I felt that way too back in December. I felt that way a lot. You know, we've been through a lot of ups and downs with the show, and you know, all kinds of different life things happen, and you know, you just have to figure things out. And throughout that whole entire time, there was always one person that would at least comment and laugh or engage with what we were doing. Man, and that person was you, which was crazy. Like, so many times I was like, I'm talking to myself. I am talking to myself. This is going to my ears alone. And nobody's listening. And then you showed up. And then 3 or 4 other guys like you showed up. And then now we got 40 or 50 guys like you that are showing up. And it's exciting because it's resonating. And if it's resonating with Chase, then it's resonating with all of Chase's. It could resonate with Chase's community. And if it's resonating with Chase's community, it can resonate with Dave's community or whoever's community, you know? And so that's exciting. But it is discouraging, those low moments, you know? Those low moments can be tough. When nobody sees the first 4 years, it's hard, you know? But it's exciting that's kind of turned, you know, for you. And that's exciting. You text me that and I was like, yes, you know, like Chase did it. And so if Chase could do it, we could do it, you know? And so that's where
That's
my mind
right.
went.
That's right.
Dude, I started taking creatine, David.
Every day.
Every day creatine. And not just any creatine, first form creatine.
That's the only creatine I take.
It's amazing. I would say it's delicious, but it's unflavored, but it doesn't mix. You know how like old creatine got kind of clumpy at the bottom? And
Little gritty.
Yeah, it was like sand.
Yeah.
Not like first form's creatine. You should be taking creatine. Helps your brain.
Yeah, not only does it help you when you're working out and you're trying to gain a little bit more muscle mass, trying to look a little bit better, but creatine also, studies show it helps you mentally. So taking first form creatine every day, not only good for your physical health, but your mental health as well.
Creatine. Get you some creatine.
First form.
Creatine. First form creatine. First form.
Creatine.
Creatine, 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 creatine.
First form.
First form. First. But I do have a story today, and it kind of goes along with what we're talking about. But I saw this story. A guy paddled 850 miles, and this was back in 1963. He basically decided he was going to go on an adventure, and he was going to paddle all the way to the Hudson Bay, and he was going to do this. It's 850-mile paddle, so paddle power, you know, kind of what your lane is, the kayaking and stuff, and what we do. But this guy's his name was David Jardin, and he set out on one of the craziest wilderness trips that you ever hear about. He and 3 young guys went with him, and they launched canoes into the remote wilderness of the northern Ontario. With one goal, they'd paddle all the way to Hudson Bay and back. They couldn't use roads, and this will make sense, Mr. What do you mean roads? But they couldn't like pull their kayaks off and get on the land or anything like that. No roads, no towns, no safety nets, just rivers, lakes, and wherever they could carry themselves. And so here's the part that makes it insane. They didn't bring food. Wild. Like they brought just a little bit, maybe it was a little bit of food.
That's faith.
They didn't bring food. All they were going to do was catch and cook the whole way there.
Pescatarians.
Which was, man, you know, you need some first form vitamins, at least something. But they didn't bring enough food to last the trip because they planned on surviving off fishing alone for 38 days, which is wild. They started near a remote post called the Lanson House and began paddling north on the river hundreds of miles through completely untouched wilderness, which is crazy to think about, you know, and it'd be one thing if you had a nice, you know, $25,000 bass boat or something like that had gas or whatever, but it was complete, you know, paddles and boat. That was it, with just their buddies. And they would go through rapids. They'd have portages where they'd have to take their kayak off and walk through, and you know, where it got too shallow. And they had to do all of this, and they did this for 38 days. There were bugs, there were all kinds of animals, all kinds of different things. It was too hard to even breathe sometimes. Days where they made 10 miles and felt like they had ran a marathon, you know. And I've been in those days on the river where or on the water where you're paddling and you're getting blown around the lake by the wind. And I'm thinking of this when I'm reading this story. You know, these guys decided to do this for 38 days with no food, which is wild. But the fishing kept them alive the entire time. They were catching walleye and pike and speckled trout and all kinds of different things. Some even pushing like good size, like 20 inches. At one point, they were eating fish 3 times a day just to keep going. And after weeks of this, they finally reached Hudson Bay. And with just when things couldn't get any worse, they finally started to see like some hope on the horizon. They were now paddling in open water. Freezing wind, no fresh water, living on whatever they could scrape together. And at one point, they were so desperate that they cooked food with the salt water. And out of nowhere, something insane happens. They get surrounded by a pod of white whales. So, like, this story just keeps getting crazier and crazier. One of them charges at their canoe. So, like, not only have you paddled for 38 days, living off of just eating fish and whatever you could scrape together, but now they finally get to what it seems like their destination. They're on the open water, and now they're getting chased. They find themselves in a pod of white whales, and one of them is going straight towards their canoe, full speed.
Wow.
And they're bracing themselves for impact, and the last second it dives under them and surfaces right next to their boat. Close enough to even hit it with their paddle.
So the white whale thing makes me think of Moby Dick.
Yeah.
And funny story, completely unrelated to this.
Sweet.
The year after we got married, I looked at Brittany and I go, you know what? I really want to say that I've read Moby Dick. So I bought it. And I read the first like 80 pages. And that's where I still am at. So
Have they left the port yet?
they have not left port. He just met Queequeg. They haven't even shipped out yet. I want to say that I've read the book. I like that is a goal. Like I've read other books since then, but that's like a bucket list thing for me to say that I've read Moby Dick. But I mean, we're talking almost 100 pages in, and we're not even at the port yet. Like they're in a hotel.
It's a
like-
grind, baby.
Come on, Herman Melville. Like, give me something here, brother.
You mean to tell me this isn't a picture book?
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Right?
My recommendation for a book like that,
Audible.
which is not a sponsor of our podcast. Hopefully one day they are, because I love Audible. I love audiobooks. But it does remind me of that story.
Just call me Ishmael.
Just call me Ishmael. I'm sure that's what these guys were thinking, though.
Oh, for sure.
You know, close enough. They could hit the thing with the paddle. That's how close it got to them.
Crazy.
And they somehow make it out of that, but they're still nowhere near done, because now they have to go all the way back and survive off of just fish again.
So when you said open water, you guys obviously both kayak like I do. The first thing that I thought of with the cold wind and open water was chapped lips. I know that sounds weird, but immediately that's what I went to. And I'm like, oh, that had to have been awful.
100%. And like, have you ever been so tired kayaking that you just feel like even if you had a gallon of water, that would not quench your thirst? And that's where my mind goes. Like, you're just, we've all done it. I know, Chase, I'm sure you've done this, where you went out at like 5 a.m. to fish, and you look at your clock and it's like 5 p.m. and you've just been kayaking all day. And you didn't. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the correlation that you made that you're so tired that a gallon of water couldn't quench your thirst.
Yeah. Like, imagine paddling for 30
I know, but what does that have to do about being tired?
You're dehydrated. I'm sure all they have is salt water. But the point is that they were so exhausted, right?
I know what you're saying.
I know, where I've been out fishing for 12 hours and I didn't eat anything, and I was
Yeah.
out there completely physically exhausted.
I mean, shame on them for not throwing any Uncrustables in the bag.
100%. What's your go-to fishing?
Not even comparable. So when we went up to Minnesota last year, we fished, I think, 5 days straight. And then when we were in South Carolina just a few weeks back, we did the same thing. And loading and unloading kayaks for 5 days straight is so brutal. And then fishing all day each of those days, like, I was exhausted afterwards. So I could not imagine 38 straight days of just paddling and going and going and going.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that you're so focused on the destination or the prize of the fish that all of that doesn't matter in the moment, but like the days after, you're like dead.
It's like, before I answer your boat snack, I'll talk one more thing. So I don't know. I guess you've fished tournaments with Sean before.
A couple of them, yeah.
Cool. My first ever kayak tournament. So you've not fished like a full day. Like, my first ever kayak tournament, fishing 8 hours and casting like nonstop for 8 straight hours. My arms and my back were so sore the next day. Like, I felt like I had done a full workout at the gym.
Yeah.
Just from making casts all day. So could you imagine having to make casts because you're like, if I don't catch a fish, I'm not eating today.
Right.
So those guys were nonstop fishing for 38 days as well. Like,
It's insane.
On
exhausting.
a canoe. That's the other thing I wanted to point out. A canoe, because we all kayak. I mean, that's a lot better for your back than a canoe is. That would be miserable.
Yeah, and we've probably all got fairly decent chairs in our kayak.
Mm.
Charlie's in the old Lifetime, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's still doing the thing though. So not quite ready to replace it, but I do have a trolling motor. I told you about that. I might throw
Oh,
it
yeah.
out just to be
oh yeah,
silly. I'll do it for the YouTube. But man, what was your before we move on to the story again? What was your favorite snack fishing?
so I almost don't eat or drink when I'm in the kayak. Now, if it's middle of summer, I'll bring waters in there. But if I'm gonna bring a snack, it's gonna be something silly, but it's almond M&Ms. Like that's my favorite thing.
Okay.
If I'm gonna be out on the water, almond M&Ms.
Well, if you were here, I would give you a Power Pro bar from First Form, or I'd give you a couple of them. Dude, these things are delicious.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily a plug for a sponsor. I
Right,
just
it's
thought
not.
of it. I'll be bringing these fishing. I don't know if you like Almond Joy or not. Are you a big
Yeah.
coconut guy?
Kayla's major coconut. Like she loves the almond joy.
She will love the Power Pro bar, the coconut chocolate chip.
Yeah, they're good.
First
I'm a big
one.
almond guy or big coconut guy and almonds, but coconut and they are good. They're
It's
very good.
very much like an almond. It tastes, I don't know, it tastes a lot like an Almond Joy. And so it's guilt free and it's got like plenty of protein in it and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
solid snack would go with that. I'm a fan of the Uncrustables.
Yep, mine too. Me too.
Just because it's E.
I can't think today. I do.
Man, you were roasting me before we started. Look at you. Look who's reading now.
Yeah, well,
Math is hard.
so Charlie texted me and goes, Chase is going to come on, and he's an hour behind us. He said anytime after 5, his time's good. So that's 4 our time. And I'm like, no, bro, that's 6 our time. What are you talking about?
I had a week. I had a week, okay? We'll get into
He had a
I
day.
had a day in a week in a year, So we're going through it. So, but we're persevering. But yeah, dude,
Persevering.
we yeah, again, words. Here we go. Words hard. Why speak some words when few words do trick? But we have, man, we've all fished until we were completely exhausted before. Whether
Yeah.
it was a tournament or just out with your friends having fun. It's because we're so focused on the goal or the prize, the catch. And that's where they were. And after all of that chaos that they were going through just to get to the destination, now they had to go back. And so they can't go upstream the way they came from, but they had to take a harder route, cutting through unmapped rivers. Unmapped, because
That's crazy.
63. And it was
Yeah.
unmapped rivers, swamps, beaver dams, dragging canoes through mud, freezing at night, running out of food again, going off of what you could just, you said like thousands of casts at this point. Their backs had to be, broke, and it had to be miserable for them. And at one point, they're hacking through some log jams that hadn't been touched in decades. No help, no trails, nothing like that. Just figuring it out as they had to go. And finally, after 38 days, 850 miles, they reached civilization, completely exhausted, spent, and somehow still saying that this was one of the best trips of their life.
All for the love of the game.
Man, and that's probably like the longest story I've ever said on the podcast. But man, it is a crazy story. I can't imagine. My mind goes to the History Channel Alone.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that? You watch Alone?
It's one of my favorites.
Dude, me too. I finally got David on him.
Amber,
Yes.
watching it with me too.
Man, such a good
Yeah,
show.
Kayla watches it with me. So
We were just watching it the other night, and she goes, "What happened to the dude with his glasses? How was he able to fix it? Was he able to get? Is he still in?"
Yeah, 100%. It's one of my favorites. And my favorite pastime is watching it. It's about day 38 or whatever in the show, and I got a double darbling Oreos, just a whole tray of them, just dunking the double stuffed Oreos. Oh, I would have done better at this. That's like the mindset. But that's dark. But it is what it is.
So you told me this that we were going to be talking about this story, and it got me thinking. And I was talking back with you. I remember seeing this summer a guy that had gone and did the Great Loop, which, if you're not familiar, is from the Great Lakes down the coast into the Gulf of America, and then up the rivers back to the Great Lakes. 6,000 miles, 6 months. He was able to complete it.
Insane.
Like, it just, what an accomplishment to be able to say you did that. He's only the 7th person to be able to do that. Now, granted, he's in a kayak. He's got modern technology. He wasn't just eating the fish that he caught, but man, just to say you did it too. Like that's
Very
incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
I want to know how these guys get so much time off work to just do that.
You know, that's my thought too when I hear these. Like the people that are like, I'm gonna walk across America, ride my bike across the United States. Okay, but like, how did you pitch that to your boss?
Well, you know,
Yeah.
they're eating only the fish that they catch. They didn't spend no money. They just got a canoe. They had a canoe and went
Yeah.
off.
I had a couple friends that I went to high school with. They graduated a year after me. That did that a couple years ago. They rode their bikes from coast to coast, and they actually got a lot of like people just donating stuff to them along the way, which was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
cool accomplishment.
Yeah.
Can't
For
say
sure.
that I'd do it, but cool accomplishment.
Yeah. I might do like a 3-day survival challenge or something. That'd be fun. That'd be a sick YouTube video. Those usually do well.
You'd be Michael Scott. I'm gonna cut this leg off my pant and then duct tape it to my head.
Yeah. I would have a ferro rod.
An hour in.
Yeah, day 3, I'd have a fire going. Oh man. But man, Chase, could you ever do anything like that?
I don't know. I would try it. I would definitely try it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I need to make a trip out there and us hit Mogador Reservoir
Let's
and
do
do
it.
an overnight camping and
Hey man,
you know see if we can survive the aliens that are out
it's
there.
getting weird.
It is, man. So if you haven't heard, so you're not Northeast Ohio, obviously. You're pretty close. Only stayed away. Little brother in football over there. But hey, don't you forget it, Chase. I mean,
Oh boy.
but
It's okay. I don't care about it.
Yeah, there it is.
no, here in Northeast Ohio, we've had some crazy stuff going on lately. Sasquatch himself was pretty prevalent all across the counties here. And then a meteor fell out of the sky.
Yeah.
So some weird stuff's going on, man.
I heard you guys speak about that on the last episode. I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
We got people coming looking for meteor fragments all over the place. But I think you're one of the only people that's heard our Mogador story. We're gonna redo that soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on out. Let's go have a weird experience.
On a serious note, dude,
Yeah.
make a trip out. We'll make a content weekend out of it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely are gonna go back to Mogador this year. We might get some GoPros. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And just
You
document.
definitely should.
But
I think we should do it on an old school camcorder. Like Blair Witch style.
Super 8
Yep.
recorder
There
cassette.
you go.
Then we can't be accused of AI.
Right? Exactly. That's my point.
There
Man.
it is. I don't know, maybe. But man, I think we could do a few days. I don't know about 38 days. I
Mm-mm.
could never leave my family that
Nope.
long.
Nope.
That'd be tough.
Yeah, that's how I always felt about Alone. I'm like, man, it looks fun. Like, again, I grew up hunting, like going out and just trying to survive. Something I always wanted to do, but man, like, I love my family. I would have
Right.
such a hard time. Like, my wife now joins me for almost all of my kayak fishing trips.
Mhm.
That's
When
cool.
she doesn't go, I'm like, it's just not as much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I'm more open to doing like a cabin in Alaska or something with family and friends than I am to. That's like a bucket list for me. We'll
Mhm.
probably make it happen at some point, but like just being able to do all that would be sick.
Yeah. We wanted to do Alaska last year and it just did not work out. But we made the upper Mississippi River in Minnesota, and that was pretty amazing. Like, fishing the Mississippi River in a kayak is pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I had my only experience with the Mississippi was in St. Louis at North American Youth Congress a few years ago.
Yeah.
We had a hotel right at the Arch, and I think I've told this story on here before, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. It doesn't matter. I saw the river, and we're on the bus crossing the bridge into St. Louis, and I looked at Charlie and a couple of the kids were sitting around us, and I go, "I'm gonna put my foot in that river just so I can say that I have stepped in the Mississippi River." And
Just
we got
dirty
down there.
needles.
Oh, it was awful, bro. It was so gross. Dead fish everywhere and trash. It stunk. It was awful.
All you had to say was St. Louis.
Yeah. Well,
I grew up about an hour and a half from there. So
Okay.
I've spent a lot of time in that area and try to avoid it anytime I can.
Yeah. So I'm a baseball fan. I loved being able to see Busch Stadium, which is where the Cardinals play. That was really cool. Beautiful stadium. I walked around it. That was neat. You Cubs fan?
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. So really cool. My wife's been to Wrigley,
Yeah.
but I would love to. That's like a Grail stadium for me to be able to see.
It's pretty cool.
But I did it. I stepped in the river and immediately went right back up to my room and washed my feet. And it was miserable. It was. I would love to fish it, but not in St. Louis.
Which
Yeah.
makes you think, like,
Yeah.
would you eat out of that?
Not in St. Louis. Not
know?
within like 30 miles of it.
Like we have.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of catch and cooking, Chase? Or do you just, is it really catch and release?
It's crazy because I really love eating fish, but it's pretty much just me. Like, I know you're blessed. Your girls like it.
Crazy.
So I mean that's awesome. My family does not like eating fish. Now I do have my youngest does like it, but he really loves catfish, which I don't really catfish anymore. So I just make sure that when we go back home to my dad, because my dad is a catfisherman through and through, when we go back there, I ask.
I could never leave my family
crazy.
that
Nope.
long.
Nope.
That'd be tough.
Yeah, that's how I always felt about Alone. I'm like, man, it looks fun. Like, again, I grew up hunting, like going out and just trying to survive, something I always wanted to do. But man, like, I love my family. I would have
Right.
such a hard time. Like, my wife now joins me for almost all of my kayak fishing trips.
That's
When
cool.
she doesn't go, I'm like, it's just not as much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I'm more open to doing like a cabin in Alaska or something with family and friends than I am to. That's like a bucket list for me. We'll probably make it happen at some point, but like just being able to do all that would be sick.
Yeah. We wanted to do Alaska last year and it just did not work out. But we made the upper Mississippi River in Minnesota, and that was pretty amazing. Like, fishing the Mississippi River in a kayak is pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I had my only experience with the Mississippi was in St. Louis at North American Youth Congress a few years ago.
Yeah.
We had a hotel right at the Arch, and I think I've told this story on here before, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. It doesn't matter. I saw the river, and we're on the bus crossing the bridge into St. Louis, and I looked at Charlie and a couple of the kids were sitting around us, and I go, "I'm gonna put my foot in that river just so I can say that I have stepped in the Mississippi River." And we got her down there. Oh, it was awful, bro. It was so gross. Dead fish everywhere and trash. It stunk. It was awful.
All you had to say was St. Louis.
Yeah. Well,
I grew up about an hour and a half from there. So,
Okay.
yeah, I've spent a lot of time in that area and try to avoid it anytime I can.
yeah. So I'm a baseball fan. I loved being able to see Busch Stadium, which is where the Cardinals play. That was really cool. Beautiful stadium. I walked around it. That was neat. You Cubs fan?
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. So really cool. My wife's been to Wrigley, Cubs,
Yeah.
but I would love to. That's like a Grail stadium for me to be able to see.
It's pretty cool.
But I did it. I stepped in the river and immediately went right back up to my room and washed my feet. And it was miserable. It was. I would love to fish it, but not in St. Louis.
Which
Yeah.
makes you think, like,
Yeah.
would you eat out of that?
Not in St. Louis.
You
Not
know?
within like 30 miles.
Like we have.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of catch and cooking, Chase? Or do you just, is it really catch and release?
It's crazy because I really love eating fish, but it's pretty much just me. Like, I know you're blessed. Your girls like it.
Crazy.
So I mean that's awesome. My family does not like eating fish. Now I do have my youngest does like it, but he really loves catfish, which I don't really catfish anymore. So I just make sure that when we go back home to my dad, because my dad is a catfisherman through and through, when we go back there, I ask him to make fish, and he makes what my boy calls fish chicken nuggets.
Yep,
So
that's what my kids
yeah,
call
they love the catfish when my dad cooks it up.
them. Well,
Like, I cooked it, and my boy said, "Dad, this is good, but it's not like Grandpa's."
I'll tell you this: if we do a, Casting Faith Southwest Indiana Outdoors collab on Mogador Island, we'll be eating catfish because that's the easiest thing to harvest out of there.
Yep, I'm good with that.
But man, it's exciting. All of that's exciting. We're gonna have an ad right here, so don't go anywhere. At 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Let me type that in real quick. Somewhere. I have to go to the bathroom. Sorry, Chase.
You're good. As long as he actually does go to a break, because I caught it like 2 episodes ago where you guys didn't actually put the ad break in.
I just sat here swiveling in the chair. I know.
Yeah.
No, he told me he did it too. He's like, man, but it's too late. It's already got a bunch of views on YouTube, so I'm just gonna leave it in. I'm like, I mean, every once in a while, give people a peek behind the curtain, let them see the wizard, right?
Oh man, I mean, you got to be real. I think so I had a picture go crazy on Facebook, and it was just me. So I've got a fish that I caught last year, the smallest bass I've caught, like on a hook, 6 inches long, and I've got it, and I'm holding it down with my finger, just one finger, and I've got it on my measuring board, and like something about that picture, people just absolutely love it. So I think I got, it was like 200 and some reactions on Facebook on that picture, and like it went crazy. And people were on there saying stuff about, just catching small fish. And I'm like, I think I'm going to do a video of just small fish catches because it's so silly that I think people like it,
That's a great idea.
And we're back.
We're back.
Sorry about that.
You're forgiven.
Nature calls, it happens for the best of us. But buy that product we were just talking about. It goes, oh, it's a good one. I love it a lot.
Yes, for sure.
On a serious note, though, Chase has bought Backbone Coffee. Give us your honest thoughts, because we talk
honest
about it a lot.
opinion.
If you don't like
It's the best coffee, it's the best coffee I've had. So I absolutely love, and I think that you guys shortchange it. I absolutely love Overtime Grind. It's my favorite, and I'm a dark roast guy, but man, Overtime Grind has just such a good flavor. It's so smooth. I drink it straight black, and it's just it's great.
Yeah,
and I knew I liked you.
Yeah, there it is. I like some sweetness in there sometimes, but I did have a cup of I had Graveyard Shift, but it was iced black coffee before we started.
A great coffee too. Graveyard Shift, Rolling Coal, they're all good, but and Overtime Grind, it's my favorite.
Yeah, Tim's gonna be coming on soon, and but yeah, dude, it's a good coffee, man. I'm definitely pumped about it, and the greatest people ever.
Yeah. I will say, we recently ran out, and unfortunately, in a pinch, we had to go to the Green Bag that have a lot of locations throughout the country. And man, we couldn't even. We drank it for a day, and we both looked at each other and we're like, we can't.
I got a text from him, and he's like, "Hey man, I can't drink this swill anymore. Where's the Backbone?"
It was
it's not the same.
No.
And it's like, honestly, like, again, this ad is extending from the ad break all the way into this episode, but it's affordable compared to what you're gonna spend in the store. I mean, you got to pay shipping and stuff like that, but man, compared to what you're paying for, it's like almost $20 a bag now for the competitors, and so Backbone does something cool where they make a great product and it's still affordable, which is awesome, especially nowadays, but
no joke.
It's
especially if you got 4 kids.
100%. But man, back to this episode, or however you say that. We've made life so comfortable. We're gonna get into the faith aspect a little bit. So comfortable that we don't experience anything like that story that we talked about. We don't experience stuff like that anymore. And if we do, it's like it's different, But the reason most people don't make it, whether it's content creation, whether it's fishing, whether it's a expedition, 300 or whatever it was, 850-mile paddle across the world in your canoe, whatever it is, the reason people don't make it is because they quit too early. And it's really in anything in life. It could apply to anything. There's a struggle. Everything kind of ties back to that. Anything worth having is not going to come easy. And to the faith aspect of that is, man, these people coming out of Hudson Bay, you know, that whole crazy expedition, there's something about being there, right? Like you probably experienced this in, you know, just in your YouTube adventures, right? Just David talks about this a lot. Um, no noise, no distractions, just you.
Yeah.
Man, and that's when things get real. You're not just physically like we talked about, but spiritually too. You know, it gets quiet, and you have to confront things that are there, that maybe the distractions of everything that's going on kind of hides, but it kind of exposes some things in you that you have to deal with. And man, I've felt that personally multiple times. I talked about this before, but back in, I think it was 2020, uh, we went steelhead fishing, and I had got the news that my grandmother passed away on the ventilator,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting there on the banks of the Grand. I think it was Grand. Might have been Conneaut. I was sitting on the banks of Conneaut, and I had a friend with me. Thank God. I just sat there, and I had to deal with that in that moment. And I'm grateful I had a friend with me through that. And it kind of ties into our whole identity in our show of just like having brotherhood and people to lean on. But it was a tough season for me, and I had that moment where it was just like I didn't need a preaching message. I didn't need advice. I just needed somebody to sit there with me, and he did. And we kept fishing. I don't even think I caught anything that day. But that silence, that solitude that I had on the and out in the wilderness, it brought me peace. You know, and I'm sure I know the Lord was there with me too. But
Yeah.
it was a combination of things. I had the peace of the Lord, and I had the peace of the wilderness, and I had the camaraderie of a friend that was just willing to sit with me, and then that's powerful, man. And so you don't have those moments unless you're kind of out there grinding. You know, you don't really get that opportunity unless you're out there. And in Colossians 3:23, it says, "Whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly unto the Lord." Whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly unto the Lord. And man, the heart of this episode is this: things are going to get hard in life, but whatever you're doing, do it unto God, and He'll bless it. That verse hits me because it's not about results. You did the YouTube for 4 years before you saw results. There was many days where you probably wanted to quit. You've done tournament after tournament where you didn't win, right?
Yeah.
But you're doing it. Something unique about you and I. We're doing this not just for the views or for the tournament winnings, but we're doing it as unto the Lord. And there's something special about that. It's about how you're doing what you're doing. And posting with no views for months and months and months, but still showing up. Why? Because it's not just about the views. It's I'm giving something unto the Lord. And
Yes.
it's not always about instant success. God isn't always asking for instant success. It's about asking for consistency, you know? And so that's kind of where my heart is on this episode is you have to understand, like, when you're doing anything of value, it's going to be a grind, and there's going to be days where you want to quit, but you got to persevere. You know, Mark 1:35 says Jesus went to a place of a solitary place to pray.
Yeah.
And so in those low moments, like we both experienced it in December, I even texted you. I was like, what happened to YouTube? Like,
Yeah.
it was like we were up here and it just everything plummeted. And I was like, is this normal? Like, what's going on? And you were like, yeah, it's tough here too. Which made me feel better. Like I had a friend be like, hey, what's going on? Like, what did we do? Did we break it? We talked about aliens too much. We went to the moon. We went to the moon. Like whatever. We did something. And, you know, we felt like we fell off the planet. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's just a season. It's just a season you got to grind through.
You know, it makes me think about, I'm sure we've all heard it. And if you've gone to church any amount of time, I'm sure you've heard this before too. But nobody ever said being a Christian is easy. And I think that we fool ourselves if we expect it to be easy. Yeah. Look at Jesus's life. It was anything but easy. Look at everything that he encountered. Look at the situations he had to go through. I mean, literally giving his life. that walk is never easy, but man, is it worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not see the results, the fruits of your labor immediately, but when we get to heaven and you see the lives that you were able to touch, I mean, what a reward that is.
100%.
So,
Yeah, man. So have you had moments like that? Because you're pretty much it's a fishing channel, but your character shows through in your stuff, and that's clear, you know. But have you had a moment like that where you're doing this thing, you're grinding, and the Lord like showed clarity on the whys of what you're doing?
Oh yeah. I mean, there have been times, you know, I mean, you just hit those moments where it's like everything you do is just not seeming to line up the way it's supposed to be. And then next thing you know, you run into someone on the water and they're like, "Oh, hey, you're the guy I follow on YouTube," you know, and they'll start talking to you. A while back, I just happened to share, and it wasn't fishing related. I follow my church on Instagram and Facebook and everything. I shared a picture on Instagram to my story, and it was the youth, which included my boy and one of my daughters up front praying at the altar where the church had posted that. And I shared that. And I had one of the guys in the fishing community say, "Dude, you don't know, like this hit me right at the right time." He's like, "I'm going through some stuff right now." And he's like, "I was just scrolling through stories and there's your story and it's the kids up there praying." And he's like, "I needed that." Like it just triggered something. And my channel isn't based on, I'm not out there preaching and stuff like that, but I still think that I live it through my daily life, and I show it by, you're never going to hear me and my wife using foul language on the water. I want my channel to be a channel that my kids could sit in front of and watch without an issue. And I've had a lot of people say that, "Hey, you're like, even though I'm not preaching on my channel, I'm still showing Jesus through it,"
yeah.
and I think that's huge. And yeah, those moments kind of stick out to me. Like it just means something when you feel like things are not working in your favor and nothing you do is successful, and then you get that kind of feedback. It lets you know that it's worth it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all called to do too. It's not always going to be a tie and a suit preaching from the pulpit. It's going to be living your life as a godly example. And that's one thing that we really try to do with this show is, just, hey, we're average guys, but hey,
Yeah.
we're living a life, we're walking a walk that it would be pleasing to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw kind of the same example with when we went to the Great Lakes Fishing Expo this year. And I know we've talked about this a lot, but man, everybody we talked to, hey, we're a faith-based outdoors podcast,
Yeah.
thinking we're this little group of listeners that we're going to have, and everybody we talk to is, man, we need this. I needed to hear that we have something like that out there, and
Yeah.
just that little testimony literally is what it is. It's a testimony of what we're doing, into great opportunities for our show,
Mm-hmm.
great
Yeah.
guests that we've had, great people that we've got to meet, all because, hey, we're walking the walk.
Yeah. And a lot of DMs and private conversations of people like, "Hey, man, that really helped, and thank you." And it's like, y- the point, I don't know, one of my driving factors for this, and I hate to make this about us on a guest episode, so we're going to try not to, but one of the big reasons that I do this, if we never get the gold play button or the silver play button or anything like that, and my kids have thousands of hours of dad living his faith in everyday life,
Yes.
that's a win.
Yep.
Like, I'll take that over anything, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the legacy that I'm trying to build, is that when I'm gone, my grandkids can come back to hear about the time I got abducted by, or almost got abducted by, whatever that might have
It
been.
might have.
Or like, just the time that we had Chase on and we talked about creating something for the Lord, even, in a unique way, and working through it even when it gets tough and you don't see a way forward and it seems like it's hopeless, but if you just keep going, you'll see the win, and it's going to happen eventually. Stay consistent, and God will bless it. If my kids can hear that in a time of their life, maybe where they're sitting on the bank of a river, and they're going through the hardest time of their life, and they can go back and hear Dad say, "Hey, you know, God has got you, and just keep pushing forward in your faith," then that's the win.
Yeah.
That's the gold play button for me. That's the heavens gold play button.
Yeah. And I think that it's so easy to correlate that biblically to Job. But I think of David in that situation. You think about, the highs, the lows of his life, and we've talked about that before too. But we see him anointed, we see him slaying Goliath, we see him being praised by Saul, and then we see him being chased and hiding in caves and literally worried for his life, but still trusting God throughout the process and having the opportunity to end Saul's life and not laying his hands on who God had called at that time. And it's just such an incredible story of perseverance where he had every reason to stop, every reason to turn and run out of Israel, out of everywhere that he was called to be. But because God had a plan and a calling, he stuck with it even in the hard times. We see the blessing that God was able to pour out on his life.
Man,
Yep.
it's getting deep in these waters, but man, it's just true. And I feel that. And I think of you a lot when I'm going through those low seasons. Like, Chase is still doing the thing, and he's doing it in his unique way, and he's making it so we can keep going. And I feel like the Lord's blessed us, and we've had a crazy good 3 weeks on YouTube, and
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at Spotify or Apple in months. I know like things are picking up. If you go Google Casting Faith, we're everywhere. And so that's a good sign. And so it's just a matter of grinding through and just staying consistent. And I think it's the same for you,
Yeah.
and your channel.
I will say one of the best things about doing this, and it was unexpected, but it's really the connections made. Like, that's been what's so special about starting the YouTube channel, is the connections made. I mean, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, although you guys are a state away, I wouldn't know you guys. I would have probably never, you wouldn't have followed me on Instagram, and I would have never known, maybe would have come across Casting Faith podcast at some point, but not built the connection that we built.
Yeah.
And that's been what's so cool about this, is so many connections built. And like, I'm friends with that fishing noob down in Texas, and Jeremy from Dad Fish Tackle over in Tennessee, all through just connections that I've made from having this. And it's huge. And those guys I have a group message with, and we talk almost daily. And when one of us is going through something, we're praying for each other. I mean, it's pretty awesome that came about because of YouTube.
Good cup of Backbone coffee, and now I reorganize my fishing tackle box in Hebrew.
Yeah, and then you lost a lure on your first cast.
I did. But have you ever had this coffee? It's good coffee. Have you ever had it?
I've had Backbone coffee. I love it. It's the only coffee I drink every morning, straight black.
Like a psycho.
But it's delicious.
It is
Backbone's
delicious.
coffee's flavors are one of a kind, truly unique and delicious.
So get a bag.
Now.
Don't wait. Get it now. And we're back, and we have a game. Chase, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
It's the Don't Say the Same Thing game, and I don't have a better name for it. Are we ready? The first category is things that ruin a fishing trip, but we can't say the same thing. So things that ruin a fishing trip, but we can't say the same thing.
I know for a fact that neither of you are going to say what I'm going to say. So I'm good.
Okay. Oh, man. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Lightning.
Banana.
Breaking a fishing rod.
Breaking a banana.
A banana.
So the banana thing's a thing.
The banana thing is a thing. You cannot bring a banana on a boat. Ever. It's bad omen. It's bad luck.
Off limits snack, I guess.
It'll ruin the trip.
Fishing Noob latest video. His is literally about bringing a banana on the kayak.
Sick.
He did catch fish.
Oh. So he said, "Don't put that evil on me, Mr. Bobby." It's not happening. Banana. What did I say? Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would kind of ruin it, though, huh?
It does. Had that happen to me in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to in South Carolina?
Sandy Cooper.
Okay. Where's that at in the state?
South and pretty far east. We
Okay.
were about 2 hours from Charleston.
Oh, cool. Okay. I spent a lot of time in South Carolina. I'll have to look it up.
Nice. What'd you say, Chase? You said breaking a fishing rod.
Breaking a fishing
Then we'll ruin it.
That's why you always bring two.
You got to go back to that primitive fishing with the
I actually have
alone style.
6 on the kayak with me.
Okay.
That's impressive. That's I got to see your setup. I got to look at it more.
Looking like a turkey out on the water
Yeah.
with rods up everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're all sticking up behind me.
I can get like 3 or 4 on mine comfortably, but I'm hitting something behind me every time if I do that.
Yeah. So I have not done that in a while, but even years of doing it, I still sometimes hit the rod behind me and
so frustrating.
and blow up a casting reel.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever completely bird nested one that as soon as you look at it, you're like,
Oh,
yep,
that one's done.
that is going back there, and I'm not even going to look at it until I'm home.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
tough. But that's why you get multiples.
Yep.
All right, so we're all still in. Nobody got out that round. We're gonna do another round. Worst thing in a kayak. So things, don't say the same thing. Game. What is the worst thing to find in the kayak? But you can't say the same.
To find in the kayak or to bring into
To bring whatever. Worst thing in a kayak. Worst thing in a kayak.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
You can't say banana again. You've used that
I
already.
won't use banana.
Okay.
Or duct tape.
So diet roll best. That'll make sense when you hear this week's episode. But things in a nope.
Worst thing.
Yeah. Worst thing to find in a kayak, and we can't say the same thing. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Anchor.
Muskrat.
I said anchor.
An anchor. You need an anchor.
I know, but it's hard to deal with. And it's frustrating to deal. Well, you said bring, or you said defined, and it threw me off.
I'm sorry.
I think that the anchor is hard to deal with. I don't like dealing with my anchor.
Chase, have you ever caught a catfish in the kayak and it has to sit right between your legs and you got to be nervous about that the whole time? It's one of the worst situations to be in. I caught a big catfish on the kayak. It was dragging me around the reservoir and I got it onto the boat and it's just sitting there right in between my legs and it's got barbs and I'm like, I'm in the lifetime kayak and I'm like,
Yeah.
this could get bad real quick. And so I killed it before it could do damage to me. And that was in the freezer. So, but it is a scary thing to have in the kayak. You said muskrat?
I suggest if you're catching and keeping to cook, get a zip up cooler, load it with ice before you start your day, and all your fish go behind you in the back in that zip up cooler.
100%.
That's how I always do it. If I'm keeping fish, I've got a zip up cooler behind me full of ice.
Yeah.
I know a big catfish, that's kind of hard though.
Yeah, you kind of got to do a little bit of hacking to get it get that bag, but it's all right. It was good.
Pre-play.
Yeah. So it was tough. But yeah, you said muskrat. I got to know, is there a story behind this or is that just something you don't want in your
I almost had one in. This would have been 2 years ago. It was when I was out by myself. Was in my Vibe Seaghost, so just paddle kayak. And like I said, I have several rods. So in that kayak, I didn't have a pedal drive. So one rod would always sit in between my legs, and I would have whatever rod I was casting with, along with like a rod holder to the right over here. And muskrat comes swimming up towards me and continues to come towards me until it is literally at the kayak. So I always fished in that one with my paddle in my lap. So I put the rod down, had one rod sitting off the front of the boat, and it had like a whopper plopper on it, so double treble hooks. The other rod I sat in my rod holder, and I picked up my rod and I slapped at the muskrat. And when I slapped at it, it jumped out of the water and crashed into my rod with double treble hooks.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. Thankfully, it did not hook up and did not end up in the kayak with me. But it chased me around the lake for a little while. I was like legitimately paddling away from it. It climbed up on the bank and went down the bank and then got back in and like came after me for a little while. So yeah, I did not want that muskrat in the kayak with me.
So fun story. Not muskrat, but the first time I was out on a kayak was with my wife's stepdad and his sons. They're both younger than we are. Great, great kids. Great. They're both in the Air Force now. Very proud of them. But they are very much nature lovers. Love being outdoors. Love being out on the water. And I'm fishing with one over one side of my actually on River Reservoir, and we're away from the other two. And he goes, David, do you see that over there? And it's a blue heron. It's on the bank. And I'm not thinking anything of it. He goes, I've been watching it for a few minutes. It hasn't moved at all. We're going to paddle over, and I want to see if it's okay. Here, this blue heron was caught. It had a hook on it. It had a lure on it. I think it was a crankbait. And it was caught in a tree on this fishing line with a lure in its wing. And he goes, we gotta get that hook out of it. I go, Taylor, it's a blue heron. What are we gonna do? He goes, I'm gonna get it up on my kayak, and we're gonna see what we can do to get it out. I go, all right, well, just be careful. And he paddles over and he gets it up. It was hesitant to get up on his kayak, but it did. And he's holding it. He's working this lure out of its wing is where it was hooked. And I go, hey, Taylor, just watch. Be careful. Slowly, we just watch the head of the bird turn and look at him. I go, Taylor, and it stabbed him. It got him right up here, right above his eye. He got the bird free, but he was a bloody mess. And we're paddling back over, and he's blood dripping everywhere. And I go, man, thank the Lord in the forehead, because that was close to your eye, man.
He just got hit with nature's steel chair, WWE style. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. I can't imagine.
So I am super excited to edit the video. So we actually fished yesterday. I'm super excited to go through and start editing the video. I do all the editing. I have a camera on the wife's boat and a camera on mine. And she said she had an interaction with a beaver where it came up. And if you've ever had a beaver tail slap around you, like that would give you a heart attack.
Yeah.
And it came up and she said it tail slapped twice. And she finally just got out of there. But she said, she's like, you're probably not going to put that in the video. But I got a good feeling it's probably going in the video.
Was I up there with you this year when that beaver slapped and I almost hit it?
I don't remember.
So we were up on the Grand fishing, and I think it was with my brother. And a beaver plopped down out of the water. We both got excited because the river was dead. There was no action. Fish weren't moving. Neither was hooking up on anything. And then the beaver slapped the water, and we thought it was a fish. Look over, it's the beaver swimming through, and I immediately went to cast over there. And I know it was you, because you go, what would you have done if you hooked that?
Yeah. And it all starts to blend together. I don't even remember where I'm at half the times, but yeah. I remember seeing a couple river otters out there too.
Yeah.
Those things are dangerous. We talked about that before.
Yeah, they are.
My wife's favorite animal, and I'm like, that'll rip your face right off. You gotta be careful around those things. But yeah, it's fun, man. Yeah, I wouldn't want a muskrat on my kayak, that's for sure, or a catfish. What did you say? I don't even remember.
I said the anchor.
The anchor.
Anchor.
I do want an anchor. That's something that
I want my anchor. I just want a better setup. I don't want to deal with the anchor on the kayak. So what I don't.
This is a hillbilly hack for the kayak. I got an retractable dog leash that is paracord, and it works amazing for my setup.
Yeah.
I've heard that's the way to go.
It's the best way. And maybe not the best way, but it's the cheapest way. And it works great. And it's a paracord leash, so it's not going to just fit.
Let's get off the anchor. I'm embarrassed.
It's okay. I don't know math or how to read or all 5 Great Lakes. It's all a blur to me at some point. It's tough.
What's the next one?
Okay. Things we miss from our childhood, but we can't say the same thing.
Okay.
Chase, how old are you real quick?
I was born in 87. So.
Okay. So you're a little bit older than us.
That's okay.
I was born in 92.
We all have the similar childhood.
But yeah. So you got some different. I mean, we all kind of grew up around the same time, but it's all right. All right. So things from our childhood we wish we could bring back, but we can't say the same thing. Ready? Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Let us know in the comment. Let us know in the comment section things that you wish you could bring back from your childhood. Are we ready now?
Yeah.
All right. Things from our childhood we wish we could bring back, but we can't say the same thing. Ready? 3, 2, 1. VHS and dongs. Okay, we all said it at the same time, which was great. But I said VHS tapes.
I said Disney sing-alongs.
I said Ninja Turtles.
They're sick.
The original, not the last like 5 redos.
The do is bring back the suits, and they will make a gajillion dollars.
Yep.
Do the same ones that they were, in the 90s when they came out. 100%. That's all you got to do.
Heroes in Half Shell.
No CGI, none of that. Just do the suits again, and you'll get a massive amount of money. Whoever owns that IP, do that.
So I said Disney sing-alongs, and the reason I said that is just once again, and I knew that neither of you guys would say that. You're just lying today. I am. You play to win, Canada. We play to win. But listen, so I said Disney sing-alongs, but what I'm really getting at is just the good old Disney movies.
I want to be where no people are.
Exactly. Like The Lion King and The Little Mermaid and the good old one, like the ones we grew up on.
Yeah.
No agenda, just a good movie. That's what I want to bring back.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully there'll be a revival of that.
What did you say?
I said VHS tapes.
So my brother has been all about that.
So fun story. I had this horrible. So the reason I'm so scatterbrained is because this week we had the storm, we had a meteor, there was a field trip involved. I went to a chocolate factory, and there's a 22
heads are falling.
Yeah, seriously. There was a 22 car pileup on the other side of the highway, so we missed half of our field trip. It was an ordeal. Meanwhile, the gas station blew over. It was a whole situation. And on top of all of that, I get home and our sump pump goes out. And so I had to take care of that. And I figured out how to do it. So I replaced that. I did that yesterday. It was this whole ordeal. And so that's the reason I'm so scatterbrained right now. And I forget where I was going.
VHS tape.
Oh, VHS tape. So in the midst of changing the sump pump, we had a spare sump pump in the basement. They're like the same exact one we had bought too in case this happened. And I go into the corner of the basement, and there is a tiny old TV with a VHR attached to it, or VHS attached to it. The old school tiny TV.
That's awesome.
Was it CB? I can't remember what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I grabbed that immediately, took it straight upstairs. Next to it was a box of old Disney movies.
That's awesome.
And all kinds of VHS. There's like 35 to 50 of them in boxes downstairs in the basement.
That's cool.
I took it straight up to my kids' room and I said, "Look at this." And they loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it, they had like this loft hideout in their closet. So I put it up in their closet, plugged it in for them. And now they have like a cool hideaway. And they think it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, there's no commercials except for at the beginning. You have to rewind it. You know, if you pause it, you got to do this, and I teach them how to use it. And there was Disney sing-alongs and all the old tapes and stuff like that. And it was cool. So I don't think they're ever coming back.
No. I'm looking for a little bit of revival right now.
So
yeah.
So far, we're all in.
Last one, right?
Yep, last one. And if we all stay in, this is a first for the show. Gas station snacks. Your favorite gas station snack, but you can't say the same thing. All right, we got it.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Listen, it's got to be a gas station snack. You can't say Domino's pizza. It's got a snack that you buy in the gas station.
What does that even mean?
Any snack that you can go into the gas. What do you go into Speedway to buy? Like when you're ass. Okay, David. Listen. The women in our lives go to that terrible green bag that you were talking about to get a specialty fruity drink, and we go to a gas station, get a couple of energy drinks and a little Deborah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's our thing. That's the snack that I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
All right, wait. So gas station snacks, but we can't say the same thing.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I got you.
I'm worried about this one.
3, 2, 1.
Sunflower seeds.
Oh! I've never won this game before. I said, yes. What kind of sunflower seeds?
I like original. Just normal.
Yeah.
Same.
I like the barbecue and the ranch.
Ranch isn't bad. The everything taco isn't bad either.
I like the taco one, but I don't like the lettuce flavor.
The barbecue that was around like 10 years ago, those were really good. But David changed the barbecue blend flavor.
Hey, don't comment on me.
I do not like it anymore. Yeah. David sunflower seeds. Sorry, David.
No, there's a brand out right now called Biggs, They're pretty good. And then there's another one that just came out. I forget, I want to say it's called Smackin'.
Yeah, something like that.
They've got a bunch of crazy different flavors. Yeah, I haven't tried them yet either. But being baseball, that's like my go-to. And easy.
That was why I was worried about it.
Yeah.
I was like, I know he's about baseball, and like
Mhm.
if I say sunflower seeds, he might say it too. But like I originally thought about saying jerky.
Yeah, I thought that's what Charlie was gonna say.
Yeah, it's up there.
But I was like, man, jerky's such a popular one. I'm gonna go with sunflower seeds, and maybe I'll be good.
I went with
Fudge rounds. Mhm.
Fudge rounds. That's just a terrible health skit I'm on
Yep.
right now.
Yep.
Sorry, First Form, I've let you down. No, I do you remember the sizzling bacon?
Those were good. They're
Those-
still out there.
I'm-
That's still out there.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one.
Frank's Red Hot's not bad either.
Yeah. Hey, I won. Look at that.
I'm proud of you.
It took
Congrats.
it was a
Congrats.
grind. It took forever. I kept going. I kept trying, and eventually I won a game, and
He persevered.
it happened. Before we wrap this up, dude, something happened. Two things happened
Yeah.
that bummed me out. Bummed me out. Chuck Norris passed away.
Oh yes,
Dude,
sad.
Yeah.
man, it's tough. That one hit a little different because we grew up in the peak of we were like 12 or 13 years
Hey,
old.
Chuck Norris didn't pass away. Chuck Norris told life he was done.
Yeah, there it is. That took off when we were peak teenagers.
Mhm.
So like that was a huge part of our growing
Yeah.
up. And
Oh yeah,
on top of that, what you know about Cordell Walker and the Texas Rangers, you know what I mean? Like I would sit there and watch that with my grandparents all the time growing up.
Yep.
And so
my wife and I were just saying we need to let my youngest watch that show. Like we need to pull it up and let him watch it because he's like all about that. So I know you guys have talked about Three Ninjas a couple times.
100%.
So we recently watched Three Ninjas with him, and he loves that. Yeah, I could see him watching Walker Texas Ranger and being all about that.
Just gonna have to watch out for that roundhouse kick
Mm.
now.
he's
It would probably happen.
you told me. You texted me. So I texted Dave.
I was gonna bring this up.
I was like, man, Walker died. Or I said, Chuck Norris died. And he goes,
I like to think that he's up strategizing with the Angels right now, talking with Michael, and teaching the rest of the Angels how to deliver the proper roundhouse kick. My favorite that I saw, though, was from the Babylon Bee, and they said Chuck Norris told the Angels to fear not.
yeah.
And I'm like, that's phenomenal. That's the best.
I was going to say it, but I'm like, is this sacrilegious or is it too far? Is it funny? But like, I don't know, man. Like he's a huge part of my childhood and it's sad to see that happen. And so things I wish I could bring back. Walker, Texas Ranger.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, thank you for all of your positive influence over the years. You know, he's always been a great guy and big part of my childhood. You know, another guy passed away, which I don't know if you know about this, but Jim Ross,
Hey, good old JR.
good old JR, passed away, which is also a bummer. But yeah, stuff from our childhood. It stinks watching stuff from our childhood fade. But
Yeah.
you could always keep it alive. You said you watched Three Ninjas with your boy last night. Not my favorite, but we put it on. It was The Indian in the Cupboard, and that movie came out in 1995. And my kids were cool. It wasn't ever my favorite. I remember watching it. I remember the premise behind it, but we sat down and we watched it, and they were both glued to the TV. They were like all in. And Kendall asked me like 50 questions every time something was happening. She was asking me a million questions. I'm like, just watch it.
Do you think if they made it today, it would be Guardian in the Cupboard?
There it is. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, it was fun. I think this stuff from our childhood just kind of holds up a little better than what's going on right now. So I'm more comfortable sharing that than
Yeah, and it was all solid stuff too. It wasn't, like I said earlier, it wasn't an agenda. If there was an agenda, it was super positive. Like there was a message behind everything.
Bro, I looked through because I was interested. Chase, you're just in for the show. I'm sorry. I wish I would have made this a little bit more about you, but it's just another episode.
Good.
Man, I was looking through all the 1995 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, like, well, that was a solid year in movies. That was a solid year. The 90s, like that stretch is just iconic.
I was just having this conversation with Brittany actually before I came over here. It's like, what is my favorite movie? Because like you don't sit and think about that really. Like, and she goes, your favorite movie or like a comfort movie that I could see you just quoting? And I go, I guess like a comfort movie. And she goes, Space Jam. Space Jam's your favorite movie. Like that is, you could
Yeah.
quote that whole movie. And I guess you're right.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah. I mean, how many times have you sat there and watched that with the kids and you're reciting the movie as it goes on?
Speaking of, not speaking of it now, but speaking of movies in baseball, remember Angels in the Outfield?
So David,
Movie.
David on repeat right now is watching The Little Giants,
Good.
Angels in the
Good
Outfield,
one.
and The Sandlot.
All great.
Nice.
Those are his 3 movies, like
Nice.
all the time.
Yeah.
And 3 of the best, in my opinion. I love them.
And they're not making stuff like that anymore.
Mhm.
Go back. That's all I'm saying. Things from my childhood I wish I could bring back. The quality of movies that happened when we were younger.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, dude. It's God's thumbnail. Remember that? That was
Great
such a good
movies.
movie. I love those.
Field of Dreams, not in the same vein, but baseball. As a baseball fan, I love Field of Dreams.
All right.
Great
well,
movie.
What would you tell somebody, Chase, who's feeling like they should just quit right now? They're working hard. They're trying their best to do all the things that God's called them to do, and maybe they're in that December season that you were in. What would you tell them?
Yeah. Keep on pushing. Your answer is just around the corner.
Solid advice, David.
I like that. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the same.
Yeah, I'd say, man, if God put something in you, that desire to build something, to do something, if He's called you to do it, trust the process, and you're gonna have times where it's really great, and you're gonna have times where it's really not great. But don't quit before you get to your destination. Don't quit at year 3 when you're just one step away. And I feel that resonates with whatever you're trying to work on in your life, whatever you're trying to do for the Lord or for yourself or for your family.
Keep
Don't quit.
casting.
Keep casting.
Keep casting. And that PB is just one cast away.
Yeah.
Right.
And man, what's crazy, and we're going a little long here, but that's okay. What's crazy for me is some of the best fish I've ever caught was not the targeted species.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went out fishing for crappie and I caught a personal best bass, or I went out wanted to catch crappie and caught a big bass, or went out bass fishing and caught a giant bluegill, a Fish Ohio bluegill. And man, sometimes your God's called you to do something and you end up somewhere completely different, but it's still amazing. And it would have never happened if you weren't out there casting. I hope that makes sense. But I feel that way a lot sometimes. I felt called to do a certain thing for the Lord since my youth. Never in a million years did I think it would be on a podcast and not on a conference somewhere. You know what I mean? And so that's the coolest thing for me is like, look what the Lord is doing in a unique way.
Well, that's like saying the answer that you're looking for may end up not being the answer you expected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you may have went out fishing for, that bass and caught a great bluegill, and you weren't upset about catching that great bluegill. Sometimes the answer that we think is the right answer is not the right answer. And when the actual right answer comes along, we're so much happier because of it. It's an old country song, but it always resonated with me. And it was some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, really, it wasn't unanswered prayers. It's the prayers that He said no to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And His answer wasn't the answer I wanted or expected at the time, but it turned into so much better for me because of He said it.
Yep, absolutely.
100%. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Man, such a good guest. And we had some technical difficulties at the beginning. Thank you for bearing with us. And, we'll definitely do this again. And, man, so grateful for your friendship and how this started off. Shout out to your pastor. He preached so many conferences up here that I remember as a kid, Brother Maroney. Grateful for him sticking with the truth, staying with the truth, preaching the good word. And we need more of that. And so grateful for the words that last forever. Those messages last forever. It's a part of who I am. And so I'm grateful for that. And thankful for our friendship, Chase. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, I mean, Southwest Indiana Outdoors. If you look up that, it will show my stuff again, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. But if you want to watch the full length stuff, YouTube, that's where it's at. And it's mostly me and my wife kayak fishing, whether we're fishing tournaments or just fun fishing or even husband and wife competition.
100%. Speaking of your wife, we're gonna have to do a waiters and wives soon with
Definitely.
with our wives, and they can all just really it's become them making fun of us for an hour, and that's fine, but it's okay.
Kayla will join right in on that.
Yeah.
It'll fit in perfect.
But speaking of her, she's got a fishing line, doesn't she? Clothing line.
Yeah. So and it's mostly female based. If you are looking for fishing apparel for your wife, for your significant other, or if you're a woman listening, check out Allure Fishing Apparel, ALLURE Fishing Apparel. And she has all of her designs that she's drawn up herself. So she drew up the designs. They're the sleeved sun shirts like what I'm wearing right now with a hood on them. And it's the only shirts I ever wear is this kind. So they're perfect if you spend a lot of time on the kayak and you don't have trees overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Protect yourself from the sun.
Yeah.
So
I got to do better.
They're great shirts, super comfortable. She has some in men's, and I like to wear the frog one because I'm a frog fisherman through and through.
I'm not gonna just try and put this out there, but she should make a waiters and wives special. Make a waiters and wives special. We'll rock it. We'll sell it. It'll be great. It'll be fun. Anyways.
No pressure.
No, I know it's not right as you said, but no pressure. But thank you so much for coming on, Chase. Shout out to Backbone Coffee, Cam at Backbone. Super grateful for the relationship and the great coffee. We talked about that a lot this episode. Caffeine keeps me going. Backbone's the way to go for sure. Don't sleep on that overtime grind. It's a good blend. So we shout out a lot of the dark roast, but overtime grind is amazing. And if you were here, I'd send you home with a few bags, but we'll make it happen next time.
Yeah.
But also shout out to First Form and the supplements. We talked about it before, but the Power Pro bars are amazing. The energy drinks are great. The vitamins are top notch. Everything's solid quality, and big supporters of the show. We're grateful for them. And last but not least, big shout out to Great Lakes Fishing Expo. We're going to be there at a booth next year. And so Chase, we want you chased. Chase is coming, maybe he's
definitely a possibility.
Chase can come out. We can maybe we can organize that Mogador. No, that'll be February. It'll be
No, don't want that.
doing that. Definitely have you in the studio though.
We'll freeze.
Yeah.
There won't be any more podcasts.
Yeah. Oh man. But shout out to Aaron and the Great Lakes Fishing Expo. We're excited to be there. It's a great expo, new opportunity, new space. The Ross Super Set. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. A lot of fun.
But a great time of connection and fellowship and good family, friends, and fun. And it'll be great. But also want to shout out Heritage Roofing. If your gas station knocked off the top canopy and it somehow ended, I'm just saying what I witnessed last week. I watched a marathon canopy just fly off the side. It's insane. If
you are dealing with the effects of the storm, that blew through Northeast Ohio last week, man, give Heritage a call. They're top notch, great company, good people, good honest people. So hard to find these days. I know we just talked about it with Aaron last week, but man, we can't say it enough. It's so good to be able to work with honest people. And we have found that with Heritage Roofing. So if you have any kind of issues, make sure you mention our podcast to Aaron, and he will get you taken care of.
100%. And man, I'm so grateful to all of our listeners. If you love this episode, please comment something in the comment section. We see so many views and so many things. You know the drill, Chase. This happens to you too, I'm sure. But it's like, just show some love. Comment. Say something in the comment section. That pushes us even further. And we want to
literally say something. Type in something.
I don't even care what. Yeah, I do a little bit. Keep it friendly, you know. But some people just get out there. But I'm not letting that get under my skin. Anyways, we love you guys. We appreciate you. We want to cast faith in everyday life. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe on all platforms. Do that. Give us a 5-star review if you're listening to an audio version. That helps us a ton. And make sure you follow Chase, Southwest Indiana Outdoors, on YouTube to watch his fishing adventures and his wife probably doing what our wives does to us on a monthly basis in Waiters and Wives. So, but yeah, we love you, man. We appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah.
Until next time.
See you guys.
Right? comment, and subscribe.
As somebody who worked in insurance for 8 years, I know that right now could be a very stressful time for many of you. The high winds and crazy weather we've had in Northeast Ohio has left some without roofs and damaged buildings. We wanted to let you know that while you are going through this stressful time, there are still good companies out there who are ready to work alongside you and get you taken care of and make this process that could be very overwhelming as stress-free as possible. We wanted to remind you that Heritage Roofing is available and ready for your call, so that way through this process and getting your home back to how it ought to be, you have somebody on your side working with you and for you. So don't forget Heritage Roofing out of Mogadora, Ohio.